golf is quite simply a hands game. It's a hands game played with your hands. Like tennis, like baseball, anything to do with a ball and an instrument that you hit the ball with is a hands game at its core. Don't be fooled by this notion that if you move the other parts of your body, your chest, your shoulders, your legs correctly, that magically the hands will do the right thing. That's just not how it goes. Golf is a hands game, and as such, you need to educate your hands. In fact, it's probably an argument to suggest that this is the first thing you need to educate. There's two reasons golf is a hands game. One, the hands will control the face. Two, the hands are that last lever, most powerful lever that will generate the most speed. So for power, position of the hands is important. Very, very important. There's another teacher on YouTube, I think he has his own website, Mike Malaska, who is big on this. Go check him out. He's very big on this. He even states that if it was up to him, all he would teach a beginner is to just move the hands correctly before anything else gets involved. I'll demonstrate. He would just get people making little loops like that, little out to in loops, without moving any of the rest of the body, just to make little tiny shots that go 10, 20 yards. And then teach them how to make that ball go right, go left, go high, go low, all by the position of the hands. Also, when it comes to power, in order to use this tool correctly, so the shaft leaning forward at impact, you kind of have to have the hands in a certain position. The left wrist has to be bowed, coming into the ball, and that's not a natural position. Actually, let me just clarify that. It's not a natural position if you're trying to hit at the ball. If you're trying to get the club head on the ball, it's a perfectly natural position if you're swinging a weight, a mass, on the end of a shaft or a string or something. That position happens very naturally, but in the golf swing, the tendency is for everybody's dominant hand to want to try and get that club face back to the ball. You might wonder why you play decent golf, you can score when your timing is on, but you never hit it very far, or you don't get that compression that the pros get. And that's because you have learned to manipulate the face with your dominant hand to square it up at the ball, which is not technically what happens in a good golf swing. What happens in a good golf swing is the hands lead the club head, and the club head doesn't get squared by the dominant hand doing that and squaring it. It gets squared by a bowing of the left wrist and a turning down of the face. Bow the left wrist, turning down of the face, turning of the body, club face squares. So this is not what happens. This hand squaring the face, this is what happens. You can see what I'm doing there? I'm doing that. Those are two very different moves, but you'll never hit the ball far, control the ball, compress it, unless you learn to use the hands correctly. focus on educating the hands. In the golf swing, this bowed left wrist position at impact is a millisecond. It's a fraction of the amount of time in the golf swing, which itself is really short. But because it's so short in duration, your wrists spend very little time there. And if you don't educate your hands and your wrists to that feeling of what it feels like to be there, how are they supposed to do it? Cut a long story short, you need to train your hands and you need to spend as much time as you can in that perfect impact position. You need to learn what that feels like and start with tiny little swings getting to that position. Gradually increase the swing until you can get back to that position consistently. Just repeat that. Now, if you want to accelerate that, I know two really good ways, two good training aids that really, to me, give you the feel of that position. One is not cheap. The other one is almost free. So the first one, the first one's the impact snap. Go check that thing out. I've done a video on it before, so you can trawl through my library, find the video on the impact snap, but go get one of those. That is a device you can carry around with you everywhere, and you can keep using it wherever you are. It's a tiny little thing just to get that feeling of what the wrists should feel like at impact. The other one is simple. The other one is a piece of wood, is an alignment shaft, it's whatever, even another golf club. Here I've got just a long piece of wood, and all I'm going to do is hold it down the shaft of the golf club as an extension of the shaft. And you can see that at impact, this side of the shaft is not touching my left side. It shouldn't touch your left side ever throughout the swing. And if you can start making swings without that happening, you're onto something. One last time, golf is a hands game. Educate the hands first. So many problems are caused by either uneducated hands or hands educated the wrong way, which is the case for most amateur golfers. They play a lot of golf, they've found a way of getting it done, albeit not the correct way, by squaring the face with their dominant hand. And that is no bueno, people. All right, hope that helps. Leave some comments, please subscribe to the channel, notification bell, blah blah blah, all that stuff. More importantly, tell your buddies about the channel. I'll see you again soon.